Season's greetings! The new playtest classes are out, and I am going to have a look at them. I have seen the first page of the mechanic. How to playtest, etc. Probably nothing surprising here. Quig is looking good. Eight hit points. This is the only thing I already knew. This reminds me already, the investigator, for obvious reasons. Intelligence, 8 hit points. 2 expert saves, expert in perception. How does that compare with the investigator? I'll be comparing with the investigator a lot because I don't know the inventor at all. Expert in perception. 2 expert saves, 2 expert saves. Different expert saves. Not as many skill tradings as the inventor. Two plus int instead of 4 plus int. So this is not necessarily a dedicated skill monkey like the inventor. Investigator. Wow. Not a dedicated skill monkey like the investigator. Use your exocortex to control remote mines, set up a turret, command a drone, think before speaking. Sure. I'm sure we all think before speaking in our role-playing games. Position yourself. Again, we all think while playing role-playing games, don't we? Carry extra gear to cover different situations. Yes, that's me. My style of character is a bag of tricks. Take note of how much attention to give you. Yep. Okay. Flourish and mod. Know about flourish, only one flourish per turn. Modify action to apply things. Manipulate trait. Sounds great. And a bunch of class features. I skipped a couple of things, as I sometimes do. Computers, crafting, makes sense to me. Martial weapons. That's not surprising to me. Medium armor. So this guy is definitely in the martial category. Better armor than my friend the investigator. Trained in DC. Be interesting to see what the class DC progression is and if it applies to anything. I suspect it will. Custom rig. One bulk. Functions as both a commercial repair toolkit plus any of the following toolkits of your choice. Any one. Commercial is the lowest level of item, if I recall. So I can integrate other toolkits in. Other people can't use it. They kept it simple. Probably should have started on the left column. Modify. Your custom rig allows you requirements. You are holding or wearing your custom rig. Modify. Interact to draw, retrieve, or swap an item, then add one of the mods listed below. The item remains modded until the start of your next turn. Start of your next turn. So this is in the Alchemist. In the Alchemist, what is it called these days? The Quick Alchemy vein. Is a mod an item? It's an effect. The selected mod lasts as long as the item is your modded. Huh? Some mods can only be applied to blah blah blah. The selected mod lasts as long as the item is your modded item. The item remains modded until the start of your next turn. Either this is a confusion, or there is a difference between there's a difference between the item being modded and the selected mod. Maybe that will become clear later. And a selection of mods. These look nice. So you can give a grenade a larger area. 10-foot longer line could be useful. Making a grenade bigger is pretty good, I'm thinking. Bunker Buster. Amp the destructive capabilities. Bypasses 5 hardness. Hardness equal to 5 its rate plus raising. Yes, this is wildly in the bag of tricks wheelhouse that I love to play in. This might be the class for the first Starfinder 2nd Edition character I play rather than GMing. Incapacitant. Live ammunition for dummy rounds. Gains the non-lethal trait. Which lets you get around the -2. I like that. Magnetic levitators. Your base land speed gains hover. Long-range propulsors. Distance. Range increment by 30. Troubleshoot. Reduce glitching. Ha. Exocortex. This is, of course, classic stuff from Starfinder 1. So we're on from... We had the rig, we have mods, and now we have Exocortex. This is our basic class stuff. A drone, a network of mines, or a deployable turret. Drone, mines, turret. You can modify your Exocortex in unique ways. Cool. I like it when class features work together. Hello, Guardian. Drone types are detailed on page 16. Weapon mount. One weapon mount. Is that the same thing as a weapon? Might be. Restore hit points during daily prep. Sounds good. By taking feats, unsurprising. Two actions to give 3 actions. Robot companion. We'll get there when we get there. Modify your drone at any weapons it yields when you are within reach. Wields when you are within reach. The drone counts as armor. You gain the following new mods. Desperate Repair. Let's put these under mods. Temp HP. Level plus int. Level plus int. How good is that? At level 1, that will be pretty good. At level 20? Maybe there's a class feature that will bump that up. 24, 26 isn't that great. It might be. It's one action. These continue to be one action. Killbot. +2 bonus to damage rolls. Yeah, this is parallel to summoner stuff. Your drones strikes deal more than 1 weapon damage die, and it's probably parallel to inventor stuff that I don't know. 2 per weapon damage die. +2 status damage per die. Robot companions are described here. As a construct, it can't be healed, but it can be repaired. Robot companions can't be healed. But can be repaired. If it is destroyed, you can repair it as part of your daily preparations. Unsurprising. A list of unsurprising immunities. Weak to electricity. Size increases are optional. That's good to know. One commercial customization. Mechanics have special robot companions. Okay, so what I'm hearing here is we might be getting... We're probably getting robot companion... archetypes? Subclasses on other classes? Feats? Very likely. Okay, that all sounds copacetic. Noting, you have to be within reach of your drone to modify it. I wonder if that restriction is ever lifted. So your killbot here, we're in the brave gun, shooty gun future of Starfinder, so that's not a big deal to get this status bonus. A cheesy damage-focused turn seems like I shoot my gun, I bump up the killbot, and I have it shoot. And I get 2 mapless strikes with OK damage. Seems like it might end up being the nothing better to do special. / the third action. Yes, Pumpkin, I hear you. Is something wrong? Do you have a comment to make? Mine. Manages a network of mines. You can deploy these mines with the deploy mine action and activate them with the detonate mine action or reaction. Pumpkin. Pumpkin is trying to have a conversation with me. The deploy mine action and activate them with the detonate mine action or reaction. So shades of the runesmith stuff. Your mines are shielded and can't detonate from taking damage. That's shielded and can't detonate from taking damage. That sounds clear enough. I don't know what shielded means, but can't detonate from taking damage sounds good. So we're going to see deploy mine and detonate mine. Class DC to disable. So people can try to disable your mines. I assume that means they can see them, know what they are. You can collect an adjacent deployed and undetonated mine as a single action. Storing it alongside. Okay, for one action, I just grab it back up. Oh, prepared mines. I'm gonna call this retrieve. They are stored in your rig, okay? Mines up to 2+ int. Plus int is also your max. Below max, you can craft them. 10-minute exploration makes perfect sense. Regain 2 mines. Very alchemist. It's not even explicit. This doesn't prevent you. Aha. Uh-huh. That's very nice. Destroyed if not used. Yep, daily. They can't be duplicated or preserved in any way. No increase to its bulk. It doesn't say if mines themselves... Did it say whether mines themselves have a bulk? They don't seem to. That seems fine. Ooh, 1 to 2. We got spicy stuff. We got variable actions. Okay, we're deploying mines here. An occupied square within 30 feet. Aha. Mine. Adjacent square. I'm priming it for dedication. Yes. For detonation. Okay. Fire or piercing. Decided when you deploy it. You can modify one of your mines, deployed mines at a range of 30 feet, as if it were a grenade. Ah. So drone is within reach. Mines are within 30 feet. It feels relevant to me. Smart mine. These probably do belong under the subclasses, but as if it were a grenade, or yes. Smart mine, allowing them to avoid damaging specific targets. Avoid a target. 2 targets at 5th level. Targeting mine. Pinpoint creatures in range. Increase the mine's damage by an amount equal to your intelligence modifier. I'm processing that. Mod is a flourish. You can only do this once per turn. No, mod... Is mod flourish? Mod is not flourish yet. I'm double checking that. No, it's just manipulate. You could, in fact, increase a bunch while you have time sitting, if you have time sitting around, if you're doing something, you can just up the damage on a bunch of mines that you have planted. Detonate, okay. Yeah, I've got to understand detonate before I'm going to understand the turn structure. This is sounding really entertaining, but very turn-filling. No mechanic is ever going to need no mine mechanic will ever need a third action. "100 feet from a mine, with a moment's thought." What about the ability to detonate a yak from 100 feet away? "2d6. Fire or piercing. 10-foot burst. Ooh, 10-foot burst. Reflex. Reflex versus class DC. Reaction with the following trigger. A creature enters or leaves a square within the burst area of a mine you have deployed. Enters or leaves. So, enters is good stuff. Getting to react when a creature enters a square in front of you is awesome. Creature is gonna get home ruled fast to mean almost anything that moves. I have that feeling. I have that feeling that almost everyone is going to just ignore that restriction and not worry about which things are and aren't creatures. 1d6 per level, or 1d6 per 2 levels. I'm going to call this cantrip scaling. Make everyone mad. That's it for the mines. What's a turn look like here? Your first turn, you have... Okay, I need to understand... It's manipulate... But it doesn't specify that you have to have hands free. Am I forgetting something? Manipulate actions often trigger reactions. Yeah. It's manipulate, but it doesn't specify anything about... Okay, so the notion here is possibly that you are... Okay, this is exocortex stuff. You're using your mind to direct your rig to plant a mine quite possibly 30 feet away. It's manipulate, so you won't be able to do it... Why is it manipulate? Oh boy. I feel like that needs to be sorted out. It's exocortex stuff, doesn't require hands, but it's manipulate. Maybe because your rig has to move and do things. Window shenanigans. No hands, but it does have manipulate. That's odd. Detonate mine is concentrate, not manipulate. You can detonate mines while you are tied up. Okay. That's good to know. You encounter grabby enemies, drop a bomb at your feet, you can blow yourself up, and that enemy with you. You can also... Is that smart mine? Avoid a target or 2 targets within 30 feet. Is modify manipulate? Yes, it is. Okay, so you won't be able to... I'm having trouble sorting this out. But you won't be able to do that while you're tied up. You'd have to mod it beforehand if you want it not to explode your face. But you can do that. You can use it as a defensive measure for yourself or someone else, and then blow it up even if you are tied up. Alright. Deployable turret. In the rig. Current HP while stored in your custom rig. Occupies a 5-foot square and provides lesser cover. It occupies a 5-foot square? Oh, I hate that language. What do you mean it occupies a 5-foot square? Occupies a 5-foot square. Does that mean airplanes can't fly over it? I mean, is the sun not allowed to be at high noon above your turret? I'm guessing they'll clarify this to be like a small or medium creature. Hey! Catfight. They've got to at least amend that to be a 5-foot cube. My goodness. Take cover is good. Lesser cover and take cover. Once deployed, deploy is almost certainly going to be an action here in a second. You can fire remotely if you are within 100 feet as a ranged strike. Ah! Own targeting sensors, including dark vision. Is it going to get greater dark vision later? I'm assuming it will. Or can. Uses your attack modifier. And shares your multiple attack penalty. Does this get... Does Does this get int strikes later? We'll find out. This feels like something that would get int strikes. If they haven't done that, I'm betting they'll do it later. Since it's you making the strike, it shares your penalty. That seems simple enough. Commercial, martial, ranged weapon. Ah, yeah. So this has inventor feel to me. We're just going to call this martial weapon. 2 upgrade slots. 2 upgrade slots is good. That's very inventor stuff. I wish I knew the inventor better because I could compare it. But the inventor's got some love in the Guns and Gears errata, and this feels a lot like that. Your turret's upgrade slots are located on your custom rig, automatically remotely installed in any turret you deploy. Any turret you deploy? Are we gonna have multiple turrets later? Expend of 0, no ammo. Expend of 0 probably clarifies some things. Appreciate that. I don't know what, but I'm sure it clarifies things. His level is equal to your level. Its AC is equal to your mechanic class DC. Good to know. Hardness equal to half your level. Rounded up. It has trained proficiency in reflex and fortitude saves. Using your intelligence modifier to calculate these bonuses. Wow, that's weird. That's not bad, but it is weird. Six, and then level times 2 plus int. So it's going to get that level 9 bump and the level 17 bump, unless you do weird things. And this is going to be in that inventor space where it is going to be tempting to compromise on your int at level 1. Unless the intelligence does something I'm not seeing. Equal to half its HP. Okay. During daily prep. Daily prep. Where was that hardness? Hardness increases to 10? What? Half your level rounded down. Rounded up. Okay, that's a weird progression. The hardness is half your level rounded up until level 5, at which point it gets a bump and remains static between levels? The jokes about the turret jumping around and dodging things and they write themselves. Oh boy. And this is weird. This is just weird, folks. I I know there are other things that work this way, but I can't think of what they are. Maybe there isn't anything. Ooh, what is this? Ooh. Selectable array, 10 minutes. A lot of them. 1d8, many types. Do they not have... ...60 to 90 feet. Traits, weapon groups. Yeah, it really is a damage type coverage. I wonder if the later any turret means you're going to get to have more than one, so that you can have more than one of these damage types sitting around in combat. It sure feels that way, but maybe not. Okay, here's our deploy. Manipulate. Unsurprising. Look, 'em on, no hands, once again. I'm going to list it as a different action, even though it's considered this action. Mechanically, I don't know. They're calling all of these... They're describing all of these actions in the same place here. Reduced to 0 HP. You can collect your turret from an adjacent. I'm assuming this is adjacent. They should probably make that explicit. They may well decide to do some more typing when they have more time to get this fully prepared. So that's your two actions to get it back up to full HP, leaving you An action to shoot it, an action to move away. That's pretty good. So you get a nice heal action you have to be adjacent for. I'm assuming. Our mods are here. Yep. Within reach. Within reach? It's been saying within reach, okay, rather than adjacent, because adjacent would be, they're smarter than me, and they made it within reach rather than adjacent, because you can have long arms or whatever. Pinpoint shot. More damage. So far, all the subclasses get a mod to up the damage. The mines, the mine guys can do this remotely. Everyone else got to be in reach. That's interesting. The killbot, okay, here's some balance being applied. The killbot only gets +2 damage, probably because it doesn't share map with you. The turret gets lots of extra damage and uses your map. Shift array. Change your turret you can change. Yes, yes, yes. This is your god of damage types. Yes. This is your new god of damage types. They've got everything. Damage types does that have? I did just say miscellaneous. Piercing, acid, fire, sonic, electricity, cold. Okay, in the Starfinder universe, I'm guessing electricity is a weakness that comes up. The flexibility means you often won't have to worry about immunities. Fire and cold are quite common weaknesses in the Pathfinder world. I'm guessing that will continue into... piercing is the only physical type you have. Okay. I stand by what I said. God of damage types. So, what do we think for a turn? The first turn here, your first turn is going to be deploy, shoot, deploy, change type, shoot, move, deploy, shoot. Recall knowledge, deploy, shoot. Be good. we don't... We're an intelligence class, but we don't have time... Do we get action compression later? I wonder if later we can get an action compression to recall knowledge while we're deploying, modding, something. Would love that. The investigator, of course, gets action compression on recall knowledge with their, wow, devise a stratagem, which goes down to a free action. So, where investigators here can sometimes devise a stratagem for free and get a recall knowledge along with it. Okay, that would be in class feats if it was anywhere, because that's a class feat for investigators. So there's a difference here where the investigator has got to devise a stratagem every turn, which is often towards usually a free action, where the mechanic is getting int in their damage by modding, which is going to take an action every turn. It's becoming really, really important to know how, yeah, what this whole mod thing between I may just be a dum-dum who can't read this the way other people can. But I can't tell which one of these is supposed to apply. Let me go back to the wording. My gosh, I am on page 5 or 6 of this? Okay, but we're getting to the feats. I'm gonna have one more look at this. The item remains modded until the start of your next turn. Okay. Can use reactions. But the effect ends early if you modify again. Yeah, that's fine. If the item is destroyed or leaves your possession, that's weird, but also fine. Any other mod you know. Items of specific types or items with certain traits. These requirements are listed. The selected mod lasts as long as the item is your modded item. No. This is referring to this. The selected mod is referring to the item being modded. The mod seems to have a different timetable than the... oh my gosh. This is start of next turn. That's how I'm reading this. That's the reasonable reading because of the additional damage that would otherwise require no actions usually. Which wouldn't be totally unreasonable, but we will probably see where that ends up with Feats. The mod lasts as long as the modding. That may refer to odd situations where you could claim that you're infinitely manufacturing something. Cheese like that. That's my first guess. Okay. So here's my first turns. I'm hoping a feat gives action compression, but your first turn is like a couple of options. If you have to move, you won't get to change types. So you get this first turn choice between move, recall knowledge, and changing your array. Where do we end up on the other turns? Typical turn so far. Something like ooh, I've definitely forgotten a deploy. And what's that mod called? Pinpoint shot. Yeah. No one will remember it. Deploy pinpoint. Shoot. Deploy pinpoint shoot is actually your ideal first turn if you're not trying to invoke a weakness. That's... So... Okay, I like this. This is a ramping up class. With your extra actions, you wanna recall knowledge to find out a weakness. Change array. Ramping up by way of your third actions. And then you can pinpoint and repeat. And then when you switch enemy types, you might well be starting over, or you might guess a damage type. You're already deployed at that point. So your typical turn here, your first turn and your later turns and your typical turn is just John Madden. It's not going to be boilerplate very much, especially considering moves. This is really good. This is a really interesting action economy. I like this. Remembering that your gun can be damaged. It can take area damage, and then you've got to fix it up, and that takes 2 actions. and then you only have time to shoot it. You can't pinpoint. Later on, hasting is going to be really good for these guys. Ooh, that's a strike. It's a strike. This is a strike. You can get haste. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is your Scroll of Haste class. You want to get spellcasting, and you want to get your Scrolls of Haste. You want haste. Let's talk about this. No, let's not talk about it. That's exactly enough talking about it. Where does it talk about this? Fire is a strike. Yeah. Yeah, you'll want that caster archetype. You will want your what? Your witch warper, your wizard, possibly technomancer. I don't even know. Technomancer's probably int. Technomancer sounds like int, but who knows? I'm not spoiling it. I'm unspoiled. I literally don't know. That's how much of this document I've looked at. Oh boy. So that's a strike. You're gonna really be able to get that mileage out of your quickened, out of your, if you get a commander type extra strike, if you prepare a strike, if you get some kind of reaction. I like all of these guys. I'm not usually a pets guy. Let's talk about a turn for a second. There's no setup for your drone. It's just a round. You don't have to chuck it. No setup turn. None. Not unless it's not with you. In which case you're boned. You gotta bring this guy with you. You're going to dinner? Bring your drone or don't be screwed. Do you bring this guy to dates? Like, I'm sorry. You just gotta say sorry. The drone. It's you or the drone, baby. This is a companion turn. We know what these look like. So the weapon on this thing has one weapon mount. What's a weapon mount? One integrated weapon mount. Should I know what this is? The following commercial customizations are available to any integrated weapon mount. Becomes trained in simple and martial weapons. It has one weapon mount. You can install or uninstall a weapon. When a weapon is installed, it can wield the weapon. It can't be to gain a second weapon mount. What? Your drone begins In addition to the customization, all robot companions your drone begins with one integrated weapon mount. Okay. Integrated weapon mount is described later. So I think you can have more than one. But to begin with, it's going to have your uh, ooh, now I gotta go back to weapon mount because I just don't know. Trained in simple and martial weapons. Can wield the weapon and can't be disarmed. But how... I may be missing something. Does it have a strength mod that would apply to melee weapons? The strikes use your... Can wield the weapon. Oh, that's all in weapon types later. Yes. All in robot companion types later. Page 16, I believe. So, command companion to shoot or move and whack. That's your typical turn. And that's a pretty good turn. That's your ranger with an animal companion turn. You pew, your companion pews. You get two low to medium damage strikes with no map. Do consistent damage. This is your consistent damage guy. That's what it feels like to me. No, I don't want to turn on sticky keys. The consistent damage guy. The off-tank guy. The subclass focus here is on the animal companion. The robot companion. The mods here can be repaired. And that's one of your mods, I believe. Desperate Repair. Temp HP. And what's the range on that? Within reach. Yeah, your repair turn is quite crowded. Command to probably strike, move, and Desperate Repair. That's your repair turn. That's your whole turn. But in most cases, you will be getting that in one turn unless your companion is melee and it's way off in the distance whacking things. The temp HP is... interesting. The turret can be just plain healed. The companion... You can only do the temp HP or repair. I'm guessing that's increased by feats. Mines. What are we doing with mines? What's a turn look like? Deploy a mine. 1 to 2 actions. Okay, here's your cantrip turn. Throw turret. Bang. That's your cantrip turn. Detonating a mine is not a strike. So that's not going to benefit from hasted. Are we going to get action compression on detonate? I could read ahead, but I'm not gonna. Setup turn. Throw turret. I don't have a turret. Throw that guy's turret. So that's your cantrip turn, where that's all you do that turn. But you're at range, and you're just doing your mine version of Acid Splash. It's pretty good. You can hit a couple of enemies at a time. A 10-foot burst is a nice thing to be able to use just at reach every turn. Leaves you without a third action. Consistent damage, though. This is another consistent damage guy. Because of those saves. Because of those basic saves. I think a setup turn is going to look like defensively placing a mine in front of you. For one action. And then maybe placing one slightly further away for... for when people close in on you, or chucking it towards where you think an enemy's going to be later. That's going to be dicey. Mine adjacent. Shoot a gun. RK adjacent mine, shoot gun. You definitely get the summoner special here, where if you can get someone on top of your mine, you can detonate, you shoot because you don't have any map. And you still have a third action left. Let's say this is more like Smart Mine. Detonate a defensive mine. And shoot. I bet that's a common turn. I bet that's something you want to see. Good consistent damage from the mine. A little bit more damage. A plink from the shoot. From shooting your gun. And your smart mine. You'll have a lot of other things to do. But we don't have any repairing to do. We may want to pick things up and move along. So we might have like a turn where we retrieve, move, and redeploy adjacent. Something like that? We're going to someplace else. That's not a great turn. That's not something you're going to do until you are down to few mines. Or you are somehow really worried. In a lot of cases, you're going to probably... If you've got an enemy by you, you're going to, what? Run away. Hope you don't get reactive striked. Detonate. And shoot. So I feel like the mine guy is going to play a lot around enemies and wanting enemies to come to you or to your mines, and you've got to guess where that's going to be, and you're going to want other characters to be mobile around your mines. So it's going to be really good to have... I don't even know what. You know we smart mine, which takes an action. But the fact that it takes 2 actions to get a mine away from you, and then another to detonate it, is going to be interesting and not necessarily... It's disappointing to me that that might not be better than just shooting 3 times. At the point... I can't do the mental math. At the point where you've got 2 enemies, it's probably way better. In fact, it almost must be. Okay. Clustered enemies are what this guy wants. Alright. I'm starting to be comfortable with how these guys play, even though I haven't looked at the feats. I'm assuming that, as usual, our level 1 feats are going to change things dramatically. I shall take a break and come back and look at feats. Level stuff and feats. Normal stuff. First level, class feat, that's good. What else do we have? Normal stuff. Normal stuff. Ooh, extra skill increases. Additional skill feats. Okay, so there is a little bit of skill monkey here, especially for computers and crafting. Which doesn't make them a skill monkey so much as a skilled. Ooh, good stuff at 3rd level. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. So 1 for mine and turrets, and 1 for drones. Here's our drones. Let's look at drones. Synchronized step. Ooh, tandem movement. That's good. And our mines and turrets. 1 of your deployed mines or turrets. Are we going to get multiple turrets at some point? Read on to find out. I don't know yet. Level +5. They stride further at higher levels. That's cool. A turret also. So, expert in all saves at level 3. That's a pretty strong progression. I don't know what to compare it to. Let's have a look at Investigator, since that's what I've decided to compare this to. Reflex, will. Where does Fortitude go up? Fortitude, expertise. Level 9 for the Investigator, so better. What does the monk look like? Out of curiosity. They start at expert in all 3. Okay. So far, just a good martial progression. Not the best. Damage customizations. So extra mods. Where did I leave my mods? 5. Okay, cool. Change a physical type to another physical type, an energy type to another energy type. Again, that's going to be a mod. 1 action lasting. Lasting until the start of your next turn? I'm wondering at this point whether Shift Array is intended to apply only to the start of your next turn. I bet someone smarter has a better opinion about this. Change your turret's selected array. The increase to damage obviously couldn't stack. Too good to be true. So Shift Array is probably something you'd have to do every turn that you wanted a different type. I think that's the reading as written here. That's alright. That doesn't mean you can only do... That doesn't mean that. Let's see. That does mean you can only do Shift Array or Pinpoint at one time. Sorry, Shift Array or Pinpoint at one time. Weapon Expertise at 5th rank. Yep, we're Martial. Critical Specialization at 5. That's good stuff. Getting Master saves. Pretty good saves. Extra damage. Increases by 30 feet. Ooh, yes, we got the range increase that I was thinking we would probably get. So at level 9, this is going to be 30 feet. At level 9, this is going to be 60 feet. For your mines, it looks like. At level 9, this is going to be 30 feet. But that does indeed change. Armor expertise at 11th level. Let's take a look at my friend the Investigator. Armor expertise at 13th level. Huh. Doesn't count against your limit. Your limit of 1, presumably, possibly changed by feats. But you can potentially drop... You can potentially put Pinpoint on your turret, say, or the extra damage bonus on your robot all day, if you're damage focused. Master saves. Master weapons. Master weapons here is the same as Investigator. Two mods at once at level 15. More damage. Legendary Perception. Legendary Perception is good. Modify as a free action. Yeah, that sure is action compression. Master Class DC, which affects your, I believe, your turret AC, among other things. Your turret AC, your grenade reflex DC, armor mastery at 19th. That's your class features. Nothing too complicated. Am I seeing correctly that you don't get a legendary save? Just mastery. Yep. No legendary saves. Alright. That's fine with me. I got all this structured about right. Alright. What do we think of Feats? First level. Ah, drone. So here's your drone feat. One commercial customization. Page 17. Sure. Multiple times, sure. Mines. Weakest points to cause lasting harm. Add your intelligence mod to your mines. Damage. A creature that... Cool. Ah. Critically fails its saving throw is additionally dealt persistence damage equal to intelligence modifier. We got a turret one in here somewhere. Assuming we're getting a shielded turret. There we go. There's your turret. Let's look at this one first. Cover rather than lesser cover. Taking cover provides greater cover. Okay. Thinking about that. Greater cover is pretty good. Being able to put it in front of you in Starfinder, where you got a lot of guns, that is, in theory, pretty good. Melee enemies will mostly just run up to you, negating your cover, but... So, three subclasses get three different kinds of level 1 feats. Mines get just plain old extra damage. Drones get extra customization. And turrets get extra defense. Huh. Don't know what to think of that yet. Got other level 1 feats. My goodness. Lots of feats. I've seen these. Explosive shot. Okay. We can add splash damage to normal shots. That's interesting, I guess. I don't feel like it's difficult to deal splash or area damage in this game. Now, to be fair, that is a flat increase of damage, but it's only 1. At level 4, it'll be a wild 2 extra damage. Single target weapons. And so... your mine guys might not care about that. But your drone and turret guys might well. High voltage. Drone. Oh, we got more drone stuff. Electrical discharge. My notation sucks now. Don't ever try to read my notes. You won't understand them. They're madness. The drone gets 1d6. A nice 1d6 15-foot cone or 30-foot line. That's not a terrible size. 1d6 for 2 actions. Of course, you spend 1 action to command them. Electricity damage, reflex save. So, class DC, I presume. Yep, it says so. 1d4 cooldown. Forget about the size for now. It's a normal size. So this is bad at level 1. I'm gonna just say it, this is bad at level 1. By level maybe 5, this will start to be okay. 3d 6. No resource except the cooldown. Let's call it lackluster at level 1. Noting that Daze, for instance, does exactly that much damage to a single target. This is quite possibly good at higher levels. One action to command for, say, a 4d6 at level 10. Depends on what you're hitting. Of course, if you're hitting a swarm, then it's good at any level, probably. It's not as good as Mines, but man, it sure is. Without Feats, that sure is close to Mine damage at higher levels, isn't it? What's our Mine damage? One d6 per 2 levels, starting at 2d6. That feels like it compares really favorably to using Mines. In terms of raw damage. I'm already seeing nearly mandatory feats here in terms of Mines getting a fundamental amount of damage from a feat. This one's not mandatory. The turret one doesn't seem mandatory. You can decide on other defensive strats. The drones one replaces your Mines guy with your drone. Not quite. He's not out of a job yet, but it's dicey. To be fair, you either got to spend the 2 actions to give 3 to reposition your guy, assuming they can even get in position, or they have... Minor OBS crash there. Thanks, OBS. More likely thanks to my janky, cheap laptop. So, a little bit worried about the possible combo of, especially at later levels 3, 5, before other magical features come online, of electrical discharge, strike, mapless strike, using 2-action command. That's a lot of damage and very, very consistent. At level 5, expertise comes online for you, and as far as I can tell, also your drone, although it's possible that drone... Why don't I go look? I'm trying not to skip ahead too much. I probably just recently read how the attack bonuses work on drones, but I'm going back to it. By having the weapon mounts, they're considered trained and then later expert in martial weapons. By default, they only have... It seems that by default, they have only melee weapons. With lowish dex. Okay. So, your basic hit bonus, okay, surveillance chassis. And these are going to have... Surveillance chassis is your basic shoot-a-gun type chassis with enough dex to do it. If I'm reading this right. Stir and dex vary wildly between 0 and +3. And so you're sort of committed to a choice of whether you're doing guns or melee with your chassis. Not extremely committed, but it's somewhat committed. Back to medic. That was page 8-ish. Nope. Page 9. High-tech medic. Up to 3 items with healing created in your custom rig. New mods, concentrated dosage. To reduce clumsy or sickened. That's cool. Clumsy and sickened aren't that easy to get rid of. Disassemble the item to deliver a powerful dose to targeted creature. I feel like I'm missing something. You change an item, you end your mod, and then the effect of the mod ends because you've modded a different item if you use HealBot. So you can't combine these two. But you can potentially use concentrated dosage and pull it out and apply it to someone yourself, or someone else could pull it out and apply it. I don't know. That one's odd. I think someone smarter than me might have a different interpretation of how the turn limit on mods works. Biotech, magitech, or necrotech. Huh. Mines, explosive shot. Explosive shot is... yeah, for the other two. Okay, so that's weird, complicated, and interesting. The weird thing gives you skill, lore, and extra damage type. Extra damage types possibly related to your subclass. Shielded turret. We saw this one. Okay, level 2. I've reached level 2 feats. Area denial. The turret can use area fire. Normalish statistics. That's interesting. So first the drone guys were putting the mine guys out of work. Now the turret guys are putting the mine guys out of work. Except that the mine guys can take a nearly mandatory feat to get extra damage. Geometric assessor. No requirements. Let's see if there's any... Let's do the subclass ones first. Drone or turret. Okay. Have I misunderstood drones not... Drones not sharing multiple attack penalty? Because that's not great for drones. Combine their damage to overcome enemies' defenses. Don't know about that. Any others for... Oh, we got initiative. Mine or turret? I appreciate that they're mixing it up there. Rapidly deploy. Stride twice. Yeah, there's action compression. Yep. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Deploy mine. At any point during this movement, you can deploy mine or deploy turret. This does not specify the one action version of deploy mine. It really doesn't. It's a what do you call a subsidiary action, and that's 4 actions for the price of 2, if you're getting that? So an enemy's 60 feet away, you run up 30 feet, throw your mine 30 feet, run back, and blow up your mine, and you're still 60 feet away. To be fair, your enemy might just have guns that they can shoot at you from 60 feet away. But I can foresee situations with actual geography where this could be a terrible problem. By which I mean fun for the player and a headache for the GM to deal with. Any other subclass feats? No. Okay, going back to Biometric Assessor. At some point I'm going to start skipping feats that don't seem too spicy. Ooh, yeah, here's our action compression. When the modded, let's see, when the modded weapon. So this is a weapon mod. With +1 circumstance. Roll the checks as if you were trained. But it's not really action compression at low levels because the mod still takes you one action each turn. Boosting you to trained in the skill is interesting, I guess. That does really help you be the recall knowledge bot. You saw coordinated fire. Hunker down. Action compression. Stride, take cover, subclass action. Take it. Initiative. The most initiative feat that ever initiatived. Deploy mine or deploy turret. Again, does not specify the one action version. You designed the drone linked to your exocortex to be adaptable. You can apply mods to your drone as if it were a weapon, applying the benefits of those mods to any weapon in its integrated weapon mount. Could you not already do that? So, this seems to be a drone one, but it's not marked like that. What specifies that you can't already do this? Ah, it's probably wording in the mod stuff. If the item is destroyed or leaves your possession. Okay, so I think implicitly here then you can't modify, let's see, leave your possession. Right, the drone is considered a companion. Does that mean you also can't modify your turret? I feel like I need to really carefully read wording. Oh boy, I hope they fix a lot of this wording. Maybe I'm the only one having trouble with all this wording. I'm going to assume from here on out that you can't modify guns on your drone or your turret, unless otherwise specified. Hack a car. Remote operation, hack a car. Looks good. Adaptive camouflage. They sure aren't kidding around with these playtests. My goodness. Here's your DLC class. Not quite, but real close. Hide or sneak without cover or concealment. The creature wearing the modded armor... What's the wording on this? Could that be your drone? You can apply mods to your drone as if it were a weapon. Huh? So this is just you, because you can only mod items in your possession. Modded items only work while they're in your possession, so this is just you. I'm really concerned about all this wording. Maybe I just don't read good enough. Okay, small area, extra damage. Is there some wording that you can apply this to... You can apply grenade mods to mines? Don't remember. There are a bunch that apply to both grenades and mines. Modding the mine as if it were a grenade, or with the following new... Oh boy, that wording. Whoop, that's not what I was looking for. Modding the mine as if it were a grenade, or with the following new mods. Alright. So that's for our turret guys. Turret guys. For our mine guys. As well as... No, don't know. I think there's going to be an open question here of whether turrets can fire grenade launchers. That seems likely. That seems likely to be a question that will come up. I'm a bit quiet. Back to our level 4 feats. My goodness. So here's your single target damage buff. 1 extra die. Is that going to be worth a whole action? Sometimes. Double detonation. Here's the beginning of our subclasses. Action compression. Detonate mine twice. Combined damage. This is how you blow up constructs. More mines feats. Mints. The mint subclass. Your mines push or pull. When you deploy a mine... Wait, what? This does not specify failure. Away from the mine in a random direction. Not sure I love the wording. Oh boy. Template. That sounds too good to be true. No effect on a critical success? No effect on... But rules as written... Forced movement does not trigger reactions. Can't occupy, stops moving. Normal movement stuff. Normal forced movement stuff. But as written... even on a critical success, they're pushed or pulled. I'm calling that too good to be true. That you can just stand next to a giant thing, drop 2 mines, and push it 10 feet, no matter how big it is. Guessing we'll get a wording. I'm guessing we'll get a mechanical change on that, specifying that success or crit success prevents that. Alright, turret stuff. Deployed 100 feet. Self-destruct. Huh? What? 1d6 piercing and 1d6 fire. 20-foot emanation. Level +2 is cantrip scaling. It's still not particularly good for just blowing up your turret. Is that... 1d6 piercing and 1d6 fire. Where was your electrical discharge? Oh, that's drone. So this is your turret option. They can also use area fire. This is kind of your big bang, but it's not a very big bang. It's a level 5, it's 4d6 to blow up your own turret. Guessing that maybe they intended that to scale both the piercing and fire damage? Alright. Mature companion. Sounds good to me. Level 6. Auto target. Okay, so no worries that so far that any subclasses are getting left out of the action. And so far, drone is still general purpose, but electrical discharge is still going to be really good. Okay, moving on. Auto target. Reaction. Okay, we got reactions. Drone or turret makes a ranged strike. Okay, a creature within 30 feet. It's like a 30-foot, it's like 30 feet reactive strike shot. It's your, it's your reaction strike. It comes for your drone or turret. In the case of the drone, that's possibly not great. In the case of the turret, man, if you pinpointed your turret, or you strengthened your drone, either way, really. This is before the start of your next turn, when your mods end. This feels like an auto pick, which is not a great sign. Still, some people have other things to do with their reactions, I guess. More drone or turret. Gains concealment until the beginning of your next turn. This is an action. An action to give your drone or turret concealment. Concealment lasts for 1 minute. This is not a mod. Until your start of turn. it's defensive. It's interesting. I I guess that concealment is pretty good. It's very dice dependent, but it's, you know, the most effective form of defense against something with a high attack bonus. Done. Yep. Protect your allies and other nearby creatures. Gains the covering posture action. Covering posture. Shields nearby ally. All allies that remain adjacent. Lesser cover to adjacent allies. That's fine. It's a pretty good. It's a. That's an. Your drone gains the covering posture action. Your drone can do that. That takes up a drone action. That's not too bad. I mean, you command, you can move and defend, you can sit where you are and defend, you can position it by a healer or something. You can have a big beefy drone that you position next to a squishy, beat things up that attack them, and provide lesser cover, I suppose. Ooh. Yeah, here's some stuff. Deploy mines together to create a choke point. Deploy mine twice. Both mines must be within. Yeah, here's our action compression. That's an action. So this isn't going to combine with certain other actions. This isn't going to combine with that. What was that action? Yeah, this isn't going to combine with this action, which I've forgotten the name of and didn't note the name of. I should probably be using the names of these, but mobile deployment 2. But there's your big action compression. Okay, so around level 6, your mine guys are starting to get. I mean, that's pretty big. That's pretty big action compression for your mine guys. The mine guys feel like the mine guys feel a lot like the new necromancers. Sort of. But in a weird way where they have to plan further ahead, but they are more flexible after they do that. Prerequisites: tactical drone. What was tactical drone? Tactical drone level 4. What are you doing to me? Show me the feat I'm looking for. Alright. Tactical drone is level 4. That's just the mature feat. Okay, I'm going to have to do a careful reading of the whole drone customization thing. One tactical customization. Tactical team up turret. Oh my gosh, they've overloaded the term tactical here. So it's just as well that I'm not using a lot of these names. Off guard against your strike. Yeah, getting things off guard against ranged strikes seems really good. But it's against your own strikes rather than your turret's beefed up strikes. And so, how good is that really? Open question. Turret strike. I can remember the difference between a drone and a turret for 30 seconds. I'm... They have these not parallel tracks for how you modify and upgrade turrets and drones and yourself, and oh boy, I'm gonna need to seriously read every line of this to figure it out. Level 8. Activate targeting system Flourish. Have any of these been... Have we been seeing Flourish and just not noticed? No, certainly not a lot of them. I don't see any of them. This looks like our first Flourish. Okay, so... Ignores circumstance penalties, as well as any flat check due to concealed or hidden. Sure. Um... You, your drone, or turret, or your turret. Yeah? Graceful or burly companion. Cloaking field. Five-foot emanation. Weird. Turrets are not mentioned. That feels like a miss. Alright, here's our turret stuff. Ooh, more damage types. At what point did turret damage increase? Was that a... Is this just normal tactical customizations? There's something... I'm missing... I don't have a mental framework for understanding how turrets and drones are upgraded. But this gives you damage to more damage types. Gravitic Dampener, level 8. Aura. Slow motion and increased gravity. Your turret, your drone, or one of your mines. Okay, so this is subclass stuff. Radiates 10-foot emanation. Difficult terrain. Rounds equal to intelligence modifier. Interesting. Countdown to keep track of. That's straightforward. I don't know if that's good. Certainly depends on whether your enemies want to shoot you or if they want to run through a certain spot. On a mine, certainly if you leave a mine in a good spot and try to force enemies to approach, it's great that the mine slows down the enemies. There's some GM fiat in whether the enemies know this is happening beforehand. Install upgrade. Install upgrade is... I don't remember what install upgrade is exactly. I have to come back to that. Transmutative casing. Rare materials. Transmutative casing. 10th level. I'm going to leave off of feats. That... I'm guessing high-level tuning is going to be tricky as it is with all classes, and it's probably now time to think more about the levels people will mostly be playing at. Whether Paizo likes it or not, most games are lower level. So it's going to be practical to think mostly about lower levels. That's our feats up to level 8. Scan the rest of these. There are, of course, lots of feats going all the way up. Discussion of gravity. Yeah, that makes sense. Anything I missed in Robot Companions? Construct robot tech traits loses the animal trait. Makes sense. Can't be healed, can be repaired, destroyed, spend a week of downtime to replace it at no cost. Okay, I believe we found out that our mechanic subclass, our drone subclass, gets their drone back daily. Let's have a look at that. Where were we? I should have noted page numbers. Right. So you get yours back daily automatically, so we don't have to worry about that. Page were we on? 16. Immune to, yes, yes, yes. One commercial customization. Support benefits should be interesting to me, but they're not. And also, man, I've been looking at this stuff for a long time, but okay, here's your cat. Here's your cat chassis. Undetected. Undetected at the start of its surgical strike. That's your cat chassis, but worse. Except it is 1d6 instead of 1d4. Oh boy. So, it can be undetected if it's, say, simply behind a wall and being quiet. That's how that works. So it's not like you can never use this, or that you can only use it once per combat or something. It's just... that's quite strange. I thought I wasn't going to be interested in this stuff, and now I am. Support benefit, interact to catch the item. You interact to catch the item. Throws you an item it's carrying. Okay. That's potentially really funny and dramatic. I don't know if it's a good imitator. Oh boy, your robot is the same size as the selected ancestry. Looks identical. Impersonate. Make the target... Huh? Until the start of your next turn, your strikes against that target that deal damage make the target off guard. Off guard until when? Okay, I give up. I'm... sort of like the cat. Throw you a thing. That's weird. Imitator chassis. Size. Off guard until when, please? Disturbing display. Demoralize using deception. Well, off guard. The target is off guard to your companion. That, ooh, that puts them... That puts them at -3 to strikes by your companion. That's one action. Okay, that sure is theoretically pretty good if it ever works. But their demoralize isn't going to be great, because that's not how animal companions work, I don't think. Powerful chassis. This is your strength one. You know, 1d8. Strikes that damage. Your strikes that damage creatures your robot companion threatens deal 1d6 persistent bleed. That's your support benefit. Strong. Give bleed. Hydraulic flipper. Ooh. That's... Only... That's 2 actions. That's level 1. That's level 1, gets in there, strikes, they go prone. Which makes them off guard. That's... Am I missing something? That's really good, though. Isn't it? That's really good. Here's your gun chassis. Here's your mount a gun chassis. Prevent flanks under very specific circumstances. That's dazzled with no save. Dazzled until the end of your next turn. Becomes dazzled until the end of your next turn. Or until it averts its gaze. And points out. Which is the icing on a big cake. This does not have WoW. Cat Chassis does not have WoW. Imitator Chassis is quite good, I think. I don't know if it's as good as these two. Strength through Dex 2. So it has lower hit bonuses. This guy has lower hit bonuses, so it needs that demoralize just to catch up. And then that off guards. Only to the drone, but then it is demoralized if the demoralize works. Tank Chassis. What am I looking at here? Tank Chassis. I've been ignoring hit points a little bit. Just a little bit. Senses low light vision, survival low light vision, senses low light vision, senses low... I just misprint here. Survival low light vision should be senses low light vision. Welcome to Playtest. We get typos. Big surprise. Everyone is surprised that there are minor typos in the playtest. So this is your big HP. +1 circumstance to attack rolls. Ooh! Circumstance bonuses are hard to get. Circumstance bonuses to attacks are your next attack roll to strike a foe within the robot companion's reach. First time you use it, beginning of your next turn. Sure. Ram Slam. Makes a battering ram strike. 20 feet and successfully hit. The target is pushed back 10 feet. Again, no save. Am I missing something? Do inventions have benefits this good? Like, do invention constructs or animal companions get benefits this good? I feel like they don't, but maybe I haven't looked well enough. And 10 feet is a lot. I mean, that's just push someone into the pit territory to auto-push 10 feet. And someone can be standing 15 feet away. You pull this off. Someone else runs in. You know, your Solarian runs in and just shoves them. The auto-dazzled doesn't even get a strike in there. That's, I mean, it's not that wow. Of course, these require a roll. This one doesn't. It's just an auto-dazzled. No save. No save, no level? This is WoW because, my goodness, your big boss, you can just dazzle them. You can just plain dazzle them. Maybe I don't know how dazzle normally works in, say, PF2. Why don't I look up, like, razzle dazzle and just see? No, that's when... Okay, what am I thinking of? Color spray? Dizzying colors, yeah. Defense will. Success dazzled 1 round. Yeah, this is a resource. This is a spell slot, and they get a save. What am I missing here? Did I miss some text that your drone explodes every 6 actions or something? That doesn't even... You can use 2 actions to give it 3 actions, automatically dazzle it, and then still shoot it. I've done something terrible to Emacs. Okay, there we go. Yes, I'm using Emacs. I'm a nerd. Customizations. Light mounts. That has nothing to do with being a mount, of course. Can you change it to be mountable? Tactical customizations. Ah. Commercial customizations are a level of customization for your thing. Tactical customizations have nothing to do with, for instance, directly to do with tactical weapons. To gain a second weapon mount, you can have 2 weapons mounted, and that's regardless of... That looks like it's regardless of the quality of the weapon. And if you have, again, if your drone subclass, you have a weapon mount by default. You have a gun by default. Well, simple and martial weapons. Most of us are going to choose guns. A couple of weirdos will have Doshko drones, I'm sure, that will go in there and whack things. feel like with the lower strength values, you know, spending the action to bump up your to mod up your drone's damage is going to slightly dilute the value of that. Whatever. There's a lot of random stuff in here. There's just a lot. +1 to AC. Yep. Loses its weakness to electricity? Sure. 2 additional languages? Oh, these things speak languages. I missed that somewhere because I don't read carefully. And at tactical, you start getting, burrower, you start getting cool stuff. Way higher HP, which could be really big if you took, your gun chassis. If you have your dorky gun chassis that can be destroyed by a sneeze. Advanced is higher level than I care about right now. Ah, here's Technomancer. Okay. Oh my goodness. Folks, that was the mechanic. Up to level 8. Well, up until level 10. I'm seeing maybe power level problems in favor of the drone people. Because level 1 electrical discharge creates, like, WoW combos. Just a staple WoW combo for anything that isn't running away from you. And then if you're not doing that, you're doing one of these other WoW things. Unless you, for some reason, don't pick one of them. I'm not certain I understand how turrets get upgraded. In fact, I'm certain I don't understand, which leaves me someplace to go forward to. Uses your own attack modifier. It's a fairly special weapon, 1d8. I mean, this thing is just shooting for 1d8 until when? I've missed something. Then again, this is, in fact, I mean, it's treated as a martial weapon, and so I guess you can maybe just apply tactical. Maybe you can just upgrade it to tactical when it gets up there? I don't know. I'm guessing that's the case, and that I just haven't read carefully enough. If it's a martial weapon, then you should be able to just upgrade it. Turrets don't have a clear turn plan. They will rather have a lot of pulling your turret out of trouble. But but they sure are easier to heal than the drones. Okay, let's move on. Let's just try making one, assuming we can. Assuming that works. We're gonna choose... maybe boring and choose human. Please, Demiplane. Please. I think there's something left here. A name. Man, I sure don't have a concept for what I'm making. Let's go versatile. Never fails. Good old versatile. Not having a better idea. Take incredible initiative, ancestry feats. None of this is terribly important to me right now. We'll grab a cantrip of some sort. That sounds good. Oh. No. General training. That's the thing to do. That's the thing everyone does. Demiplane, please. Unselect that. There we go. General training. Come on. We'll pick that out later. Boosts. We sure gotta take intelligence. On principle, I'm taking +4 int when I first start building things. We have medium armor, so we're gonna need a spread. But I think everyone wants dex to shoot things with. I think we are definitely going to want to end up with +3 dex for just about anyone. Maybe our Minds guy doesn't need dex. Maybe our Minds guy skips dex. But I don't think this is a Minds guy, so I'm taking dex. Alright. We'll have other things to do later. We gotta go back. General feat. The electrician. Yeah, it's a basic choice there. Electrical engineer will get us some stuff. And then we'll get... Why have I done this? Demiplane, please! Alright. Intelligence. And... More dex? We kind of have to have dex if we're going to shoot a gun. Gonna shoot a gun and gotta have dex. I may be the only one who thinks this. I may be the only person who thinks you've got to have +3 dex. Turret certainly got to have dex, because your turret uses your... I was thinking I would make a turret guy, so I'm going to stick with the dex and make a turret guy. Probably. Class. Mechanic. Demiplane, please! Key attribute intelligence. Attribute boosts 0 of 4. Demiplane, please. Please, Demiplane. Wow. There's our +4 intelligence. Our +3 dex. Strength. Our turret guy's not hitting anyone, but I will need strength to wear armor. I will need strength to get my proper AC. At least at level 1. Am I willing to accept subpar AC? What would I trade that for? I'm going to keep it. I'm going to take the AC. That leaves me... My goodness, this guy's... Sure did have to dump 2 stats. Expert Perception is going to save me just a little bit here. Constitution. Turret guy definitely doesn't want to, like, run up into the front lines. My goodness. Tough choices here. Again, I would really understand the choice of +3 in int here. Just because this is such a bummer in terms of anything, in terms of a bunch of skills. I don't like my characters to be too squishy, but I'm not obsessive about it. Okay, and so... This is... Alright, will save is alright. I have expert. Fort save is my bad one, I think. I'll take the con. Crafting replacement training. What? Oh, I probably already get that from electrical engineer. That's fine. Computers, crafting. I guess, from my perspective, I gotta start taking... Okay. From experience, I think generally you want acrobatics or athletics, because you can... If you have at least one of the two, you can get away with things. So I want acrobatics. Skill training, 6. 6 isn't too bad. I've got acrobatics. This definitely makes you just, like, not... I guess you can be the stealthy if you want to. I don't know if I want to. It's practical in combat. I don't want to have just combat skills. I do want the recall knowledge skills, because I'm I'm intelligence. I'm gonna have that strength. So let's take the recall knowledge skills for intelligence. Got Arcana. We've got those. 3 skills left. Medicine is wisdom. We're not taking medicine. We're just gonna not have healing on this guy. That's unusual for me. Nearly every character I make has some form of healing. I'll figure out what it is later. There certainly are feats. Okay. We take the stealth. That will give us possibly better initiative. Possibly reasonable initiative instead of just bad. Although I do have expert perception. But this will give us a better option. Dex skills, other dex skills, thievery, intimidation, don't know. This would all work out better if I had chosen to theme this guy first, but I'm just looking at how this ends up. One more skill. It'll be something I'm bad at. I'm the recall knowledge guy. So maybe I take nature for just backup recall knowledge over there. Custom rig. Exocortex. Gotta make a choice. Demiplane, please. I'm the turret guy. No more choices to make there. Feet. So shielded turret is not an auto choice. Demiplane. Demiplane! Do something. Explosive shot does not wow me. Multidisciplinary mechanic is the weird one where you can change damage types. I sure do like damage types. I think this is me. I think this is how I play this. I take the extra skills in damage types. Biotech, Magitech, Necrotech. In electronics, I started out as the electrical engineer. Where does that put me? Who is my guy? Who is he? Trained in nature, arcana, religion. Religion gets me that last recall knowledge skill. It's dumb. What do you mean nature replacement training? This is a demiplane bug. Untrained, yeah. Little demiplane bug. That trains you in nature instead of something else. So there's your level 1. Level 1. Throw down your turret. Recall knowledge. Start shooting things with your turret. Level. Turn 2. Shoot things with turret. Shoot things yourself. Pinpoint with your turret for extra damage. Something like that. Heal your turret when you have to. I mean, you can heal it up from destroyed, and so So that's your basic plan, I guess. Aside from picking out an array that you are going to have regularly. What is this guy's concept? An electrician who went into necrotech. This is that mad scientist. This could be that mad scientist who goes into Lepidstadt surgeon eventually. That's the big thing these days. You're Dr. Frankenstein type? But with guns. Dr. Frankenstein, but with guns, isn't a bad concept. I could live with that. And a turret instead of a guy. Maybe I'm too ethical. Necrotech doesn't make me sound ethical, but I mean, there's different opinions about that. Level 2, Mechanic Feat. Where do I go from here? I have lots of damage types and recall knowledge skills. Hello, Demiplane? Hello? What am I looking at here? Level 2, Mechanic Feat, Skill Feat. Will you load my Skill Feat? What am I looking at? Are you not working yet? Is this some paid benefit? Is it just not working? Maybe it's because I haven't chosen an ancestry stuff? Well, let's just pick something here. I have some extra options now that I have... Arcane Sense. I could take that. I could take a lot of things. I could take Fleet. I don't have Medicine. What's the tough one called? Toughness. Yeah, let's bump up the defenses a little bit. That sounds good. Now will you let me select more class feats? Oh, maybe it won't because I'm not level 1 yet. I'm not level 2 yet. Is that how it works? It's not letting me plan because I haven't selected level 2? Demiplane! Alright, so maybe our planning ends at level... Well, there's our skill feat. Can we get our mechanic feat? Maybe Demiplane just isn't ready yet. Oh, there we go. Alright, where's my notes on these? I don't have them by name, but I sure have them by notes. Turret can use area fire. That'd be good. Tandem strike at the current map. That helps with damage. Stride twice and deploy at any point. That sure is action compression, but my turret is a gun. Mod weapon. I don't think I can do that with my turret because I don't possess it. Initiative. It gets you... It frees up one action on your first turn. That's good. That's good. You'll use that every fight forever. But it's one action. I think drone turret is... Or not. I think... Wow. I really should have... What was this one called? Mechanic feat. Level. Area denial turret. Hunker down, instant deployment, mobile deployment, modified drone, remote operation. I've sure forgotten what this was called. I really shouldn't have, I really should have taken note of the names of those. That was certainly a mistake right from the beginning. Area denial turret. Coordinated fire. Coordinated fire. Is there a second? What am I missing here? Drone or turret exocortex. If I didn't meet a requirement, it would show me the thing there. Coordinated fire. It sure just isn't there. Okay. So I'm taking the lower, the no map between me and my turret, because that's a basic damage boost and consistency boost. That gives me always, well, not always, but frequently, the weird choice between pinpoint and that when I need other actions for things. And it's a toss-up between consistent damage and higher damage. Whatever. That feels like what I do. This is missing from Demiplane. I'm just going to skip it, not specify one. Skill feats. There we go. I'll pick something. Top of your head. Man. I sure can't have a lot of these. Where's Catfall? I'll take Catfall if I can get it. I'll take Catfall, because I have no inspiration. At level 3... skill increases, and a general feat. What kind of skills is Dr. Frankenstein getting good at? Crafting, definitely. Computers, maybe? Demiplane? Am I just not waiting long enough? Oh, I haven't set my level to 3. Alright, this guy's... We're building him up to level 8. Demiplane. Path Builder got this right. Why has Demiplane gotten this wrong? Come on. What? What am I looking at? I thought I was getting 2... A minute ago it acted like I was getting 2 skill increases. That's fine. Despite not having a great use for crafting, it is recall knowledge sometimes. It is a recall knowledge skill sometimes. But I think crafting is what Dr. Frankenstein... I need a name for my guy that isn't Guy. Franken Guy? What's Frankenstein backwards? Knarfenstein. That is the dumbest name. Alright. That appeals to the Pinky and the Brain crowd. I'll stick with it. So, Knarfenstein. Alright, I get an extra boost here. And it might as well be computers. You know what? No, that's fine. I'm not gonna start working backwards now. Combat hack. I'll take it. I'll take combat hack. A general feat. Ancestral Paragon sounds good. I'll grab some more human stuff. I'm just gonna keep being cheesy. Is Knarfenstein gonna have haughty obstinacy? That sure could be him. Cooperative nature? I think haughty obstinacy for a mad scientist. In a weird way. Paradoxically, but yeah. More feats. Let's have a look at what we thought of our level 4 feats. Mines, turret. The turret self-destruct was a nope for me. I didn't feel like it does something I want to do. Which is blow up my own strength for some very temporary damage that isn't even very good. Hide or sneak without cover. Concealment. Mod. Grenades. Let's go back to our level 2 feats. Hack a car? Yeah, could be. We could go ahead and take that initiative action, or this action compression over here, or our free recall knowledge. But that uses a mod action. It's not very good. It's just plain not very good. It gets you a +1 circumstance on a recall knowledge that you basically do have to spend the action for unless you shoot twice. So, considering one of the action compressions here, this one or this one, save an action every initiative forever. The beginning of fights is important. And so, to just not have... To just not be behind on actions on the first turn, I think is a good idea for me. More skills. Self-destruct. No, that's still class skills. Continual recovery. Nope. That's medicine stuff. Machine magic. Ooh. Craft hybrid items. I don't even know what that does. I don't think... Okay, but I was necrotech, so certainly that's on brand for me. I'll take that. That's easy enough. I'll take that one. It may not work for me, but it's on brand for Knarfenstein. Level 5 skill increase. I think here I pull up a recall knowledge skill. Probably Arcana. That seems right to me. I'm a weirdo, possibly, but I consider Arcana closer to mad science than occultism for reasons that I couldn't tell you. That's just how it seems to me. Ancestry feat. More stuff. Clever improviser. Yeah, sure. I don't know. Knarfenstein is heading out of Frankenstein territory, but that's useful. Attribute boosts. Now we can start fixing things. I sure need dex for shooting guns. I sure do. We don't need any more strength, certainly. I'm not going to cheat and miss an int boost because I'm being a good boy. Con is possibly good enough. I'm not taking charisma skills at all. I sure do like to have recall knowledge, and so I could boost wisdom now. My AC is going to be fine. I don't need strength for anything else. I will remain non-charismatic and a little healthier. Yeah. What's it done to me here? And so, sure, good enough. For once, it wasn't difficult. Alright, our level 6 feats. What did I think of these? Donor turret. Not a mod. Concealment. I don't love just concealment. Sure, it's good against bosses. Are bosses going to chase down your turret? This is kind of your auto pick. That's your auto pick. Yeah. I'm not enough of a theme guy, as you can probably tell, to ignore an auto pick like that for theming. And I feel pretty strongly that that is an auto pick for me. Skill feat. Just something. Communal crafting. Probably not on brand. Unless Knarfenstein departs very much from his namesake. Magical crafting. I think machine magic kind of covered what I wanted out of that for theming. Demiplane. Hello. Firefox? Alright. Tech crafting? Probably. Maybe. Assurance? I don't need assurance for anything in particular. Arcane Sense. Yeah. It always feels weird to have a character with no cantrips, and so there's my cantrip. I have Detect Magic now. I have rank 1 Detect Magic now. I can do it. I can go around detecting magic, and I can get your Starfinder Society, is someone detecting magic kind of bonuses. Is that it for level 6? That's it for level 6. Level 7. Skill increases. Is this where we can get Master? It is. Do we want crafting or computers? I think I had decided that crafting was going to be what I really cared about. So my other one may well be bumping something up to expert. Bumping one of my... Do I have society? I have society. It's not really his thing, though. Maybe I bump my occultism up to expert for recall knowledge. Or my nature? To catch it up with my other recall knowledge skills? Yeah, if I'm going to be the recall knowledge guy, and I haven't definitively made choices for that. Nonetheless, I like it. So, and then here's going to be my crafting feat. Scavenger. Yes. Yep. Yes. Absolutely. Sometimes theming gives you an auto pick. Sometimes it's just right there. General feat for level 7. I'm kind of running out of these. Additional Oh, but I don't have... Oh, I don't have the prerequisite for additional spoons. Not super on brand for him, but I would sure love to take it just to say that I had. Can I filter to... I can't filter to just the ones I... Okay. Is there another button up here somewhere? Can I... Alright. Demiplane. I'm just gonna find something I am allowed to take. Percussive maintenance. Maybe? What's at level 7? I should know this and I don't. Demiplane. Demiplane, please. Alright. Percussive maintenance? Yeah, I'll take it. That's fine. I tell you, this character will change a little bit if I rebuild him in Pathfinder. Path Builder. Level 8 feats. What did we think of these? What did I think of these? Other people think reasonable things. More damage types? Yeah, this is where I can get void damage. Cold iron and silver. Oh boy, so either one. Frankenstein is famously from a sort of Transylvania area, isn't he? So those are both very, very on target and on theme for what I want. So I want 2 level 8 feats. That's a good sign. It's a good sign when there's 2 feats you really want. At the same time, boy, I don't want to pick between those two. I want both of them. I really do. One more skill feat. I gotta find one I'm allowed to have. Where are the ones I'm allowed to have? Come on. Fabricator. Look at the end of this list. Virtuosic Performer? No, absolutely not. Without a trace, don't think so. Quick Repair. I don't need that for my turret. I kind of just already do that stuff. Unlock. What do you mean unlock? Do I have to buy books? Specialty crafting, maybe. Terrain stalker, trick magic item. Trick magic item could work for him. It's thinking. It's failing. Alright, here's Knarfenstein. Demiplane was a little... like, it's not quite there yet. Demiplane's not quite there yet. I'm sure they'll work on it. This is a playtest class, so... free version of a playtest class on Demiplane on the first day. Yeah. So, Dr. Frankenstein here. At level 8, I can begin by throwing down my turret at initiative. And then every turn, I can take 2 shots. I shoot, and my turret shoots. And before that, I have a number of things I can do. I can recall knowledge. I can swap a chassis for a damage type. I can pinpoint to up damage. What was the other turret mod? Yeah, switch damage types or pinpoint for extra damage. Bunker Buster. Does that apply to me? Can I bypass hardness? Maybe. Long-range propulsors, maybe. Reduce glitching, often, sometimes. Despite the theming, this guy has a pretty obvious game plan of throwing down the turret and just doing 2 shots. And recalling knowledge and hitting weaknesses, and if there's no weaknesses, pinpointing. But other than that, I'm going to spend a lot of time rushedly picking up my turret and moving it other places anytime combat moves. Because I didn't take the right feats to fix that. But that's alright. Sometimes the combat just isn't what you're good at, and you hope that it's what someone else is good at. Benefits from haste, if I can get someone to haste me. At level 8, I can try trick magic item to haste myself, using my entire first turn. Yeah, this is a guy. This is a character I would try playing. Okay, that's the mechanic. I like it. Drone op, nerfs incoming. There are all of those WoW things on the drone on drone guys. There's just a lot of WoW on drones. Mines are cool. Turret is definitely that damage type coverage that I personally like to do. Mechanic will need probably some tweaks to allow saves against things, etc. I think this is really interesting. I'm running a game Friday. I'm a level 10. I'm running Wheel of Monsters Friday. Level 10. Maybe I'll see one of these guys. I'm really hoping to. I might have better commentary then. And I will sure need to make sure I understand the rules, because I got a GM. Gee whiz. Good job, Paizo. This is cool stuff. Good night, folks. Season's greetings. And stay frosty? No, that's not it. No. Good night, folks. That was it. The first one was good. The good night, folks, is the one. Good night, folks.